it's supposed to feel.
Hello and welcome back to another test. So today we'll be doing a versus test with Comodo and Kaspersky. For this test we are going to disable the cloud lookup services. So for Comodo it will be the FLS, which is the file lookup service, and for Kaspersky will be the KSN. I think it's Kaspersky Secure Network or something like that. We'll check it now. So KSN and FLS will be disabled for them both, so purely relying on signatures and all the other zero-day components. So this will in a way also simulate a 0-hour or a 0-day threat that's not known by the two vendors, meaning they don't have any signatures for them, or their AI or cloud lookup services can't analyze the threat, meaning it's new. So this will in a way simulate a brand new threat that they're both not aware of, and will check the behavior of the two products. Okay, with Comodo, we'll just go to advanced settings. So under updates, I did select it to update every hour and use full signatures. The configuration is left to internet security. Under the AV module, pretty much high heuristics, pretty much enabled. Scans, we're not going to do any scans as I don't want any scans during the tests. Firewall, set to safe mode, a block request, and all the advanced options are enabled. These are the default rules. No additional rules were created for firewall. So heaps is set to a block request with a safe mode and adaptive under low resources. Heaps, these are the heaps rules predefined. Okay, and heaps groups. Okay, so under containment, I selected to run inside the container. Just makes the test easier. These are all the predefined rules. We didn't create any additional rules. File rating, this is what we're going to disable when we start the test. I think let's maybe disable it now. And PUPs, I think I'm going to leave PUPs on. We'll see if that makes a difference. Under advanced, we've got virus scope, which is enabled to scan all the files and use the two recognizers. Script analysis, they're all enabled. Okay, miscellaneous, quarantine and disable, secure shopping, and website filtering. Okay, so we're going to hit OK on that one. Under the file AV, you can see we set the threat automatic detection. Set all files, heuristics is set to deep, and then scan all the files. Okay, safe browsing. I'm going to leave that on medium or optimal settings. Okay. AMSI protection, that is enabled. Network attack blocker is enabled. Weak setting scans. System watcher, we're going to leave that enabled and set everything to do it automatically. Okay, so the Kaspersky security network, this is what we're going to disable. So this is the cloud-based, knowledge-based, containing information, blah blah blah. So we are going to disable that. Okay, so it's disconnected. Self-defense is enabled. And yeah, I would say that's about that. These are the network settings in case someone is interested. Okay, so I think that's that. I'm gonna just quickly disable the protection to get the malware extracted so that we can start the test. Okay guys, so apologies for the delay. I only realized after I extracted the malware I had for some reason not enough free space on the Comodo VM, so I just had to increase the disk space a bit. But yeah, so now that everything is done, we have 3,560 samples on each side, so obviously quite a lot of applications, but we do have finest malware, zip files and things like that. Okay, so I think we can just quickly check for updates. Okay, I think while we check for updates, let's quickly have a quick squiz at the settings again. Okay, so heaps, I'm going to re-enable it. I did create a rule for the script, which I forgot about. So the script is enabled, so that should allow heaps to open up the malware. If you don't do this, then heaps just from the bat just blocks all the malware, which is a good thing, but for the testing, I'm just going to allow it. Heaps will be enabled, and then file rating is disabled, as you can see, but I've left PUP or PUA enabled. That's going to OK that. Okay, Kaspersky is also up to date. I'm just going to enable the protection. Okay, so Comodo is already detecting threats on the desktop. Okay, with Comodo, I'm going to do two tests for the website browser test. I'm going to test it with Edge, and then I'm going to test it with the... Oh, I think I need to... Okay, so Comodo is just going to rip through all these malware. Let me just disable the AB for now. Okay, so I'm going to test. As you guys can see, also the machines are clean. Before we start, so I'm going to test it with Edge, and then immediately I'm going to test it with the Dragon browser. I want to see if there is going to be any real big difference between the browsers, because it comes pre-installed, or it does install the Dragon browser. So let's quickly start the test, website test with Kaspersky while that's running. Okay, so I'm just going to open up the default. Oops, it would help if I spell correctly. Okay, so I'm just going to open that in the meantime. Okay, so as you can see, the Kaspersky plugin is enabled. Okay, it's busy populating the apps. And I think that is heaps also blocking the script from executing. So yeah, Comodo has pretty tight security, but it can be a bit of a pain if you want to test. Why is it not opening? Okay, so I just quickly had to disable heaps. There was no rule for that one. Then what we're gonna do is, okay, so Dragon browser I think should open up, because that's the default browser. Okay. Okay. Let's just see. Okay, so that one was blocked. Okay, that was not blocked, not blocked, not blocked. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Microsoft Edge the default browser. I'm going to rerun the same test. The reason why, because the Dragon browser does use the as its own built-in secure DNS, and I want to see if the browser actually helps with that. Okay, I'm just going to open it again. Yeah, so now we're going to do it with Edge and see if it can detect any malicious websites within Edge. Okay, as you guys can see, it is just nuking malware from the desktop. But it doesn't seem like too many web pages opened. I would say only 3 pages actually opened. 1, 2, 3. The other ones didn't do much. They did download a couple of files. Let's quickly look at Kaspersky. Okay, blocked. Okay, there was nothing. Okay, it seems like this one was loading. Okay, so these pages might be legitimate pages, so I think that's why they are being allowed. Okay, I'm going to close that. Okay, so on Edge I think we have similar results. I'm just going to close that, cancel. Yeah, so let's see if anything downloaded. Okay, it's opening up again. Just going to close it. Okay, so it seems like we've got 2 JavaScript files that downloaded. I'm going to open them and see if they do anything. Okay, we can delete that one. Okay, so we've got 4 files versus 2 files. I'm going to say try and disinfect without restarting. Okay, so it seems like that file was deleted by Kaspersky. I think this JavaScript will also be deleted. Okay, yeah, so that was deleted. It wasn't deleted during the download, but it was deleted after execution. Can't see that anything is happening with these 2 files. Okay, so I would say Kaspersky won the website test. Very similar to web pages opening, but obviously less files downloaded. And now we are sitting still with 4 versus 0. Okay, so here virus scope deletion. Okay, cool, deletion. Okay, cool, clean. It's gonna should delete it now. Okay, cool, that's deleted, so that's good. Just a little bit slow, I would say. Let's try this one. Let's see if virus scope is gonna pick up this bad boy. Seems like it quickly went into. Okay, so it is running in containment, so that script is actually, then it goes to PowerShell. Okay, cool, there it is, virus scope not liking it, clean. Okay, there it is done. Okay, yeah, so I would say it looks better now for Comodo, so we've got 2 files less. And yeah, okay, cool. So that's actually not bad at all. Okay, so now we're going to start the malware testing. I want to see if heaps is actually going to interfere with the script. Yeah, seems like heaps is interfering. Okay, so let's quickly just disable heaps. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the script. I'm just going to re-enable heaps quickly. Okay, heaps is re-enabled. Okay, we're going to do Kaspersky. Okay, seems like we've got that one malware that's running there. Okay, so we've got this one malware running in containment, 0003, as you guys can see. So that's already in containment. I'm just gonna move it here. Okay, so malware stopped. Okay, I don't see any malware running yet on the Kaspersky machine. Okay, so I think that's going to be an interesting test. Let me just deal with all the threats and all these gazillion pop-ups, but for now we've got one running in containment. You see the majority of malware is just being blocked, and Kaspersky is also doing its fair share. Okay, I'm going to let you guys know if there's anything interesting, but for now I'm just going to tend to the malware. Okay guys, so the malware execution is finally completed. I did have an issue, I think, on the Kaspersky machine that it did restart, so obviously I just had to re-execute some of the malware, but luckily that didn't take too long. Let's start with Comodo. Let's just quickly go through to see what is running. Okay, so here we've got a couple of threads running. You guys can see we do have quite a number of threads. Okay, so this one is fairly low rating. Let's quickly have a look at that one. This one as well. Okay, so as you can see we have a couple of threads, so we'll see if they are in containment or not. Let's quickly have a look. Okay, so Trend Micro is calling this a Trojan. So it might still be fairly new, and only Trend Micro is aware of it, or it could be maybe a false positive. Okay, same with this one, Adware. And this one is just a Trojan, but probably just a generic Trojan. Yeah, so it's Trojan generic. So only a small handful of vendors are rating this as malware. Okay, so we have quite a lot here. Yeah, these are just the event logs. Just as a side note, I did disable heaps a couple of times during the test, as I wanted to get more malware open, because there was a period where like virtually no malware was actually getting a chance to open up. So just take that into account. Whatever our third-party results will show is that I did disable heaps a couple of times just to spice it up a bit. There's nothing really interesting was happening on the Comodo machine, but yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple of containment events. Okay, I'm just going to close that. This update has been running for I think almost 2 hours, so I think it's stuck. I obviously just updated again after the restart, but let's quickly see if there's anything installed. Okay, it's still populating. Doesn't seem like anything actually installed on the machine, so that's good. Here's our containment. We have quite 101 different files are running in containment, so we have quite a bit of things running here. Okay, and then on the VT root folder, I did go in there just quickly just to see if there's maybe like ransomware infection or something, but I didn't see anything like that, so I don't think there's any like crypto malware running on this machine. I didn't see any infected files. Let's quickly look at our startup items. Let's see if there's anything starting up. Yep, doesn't seem like any startup items. As you can see, this update seems to be a bit stuck. Close that. Okay, yeah, so we do have a couple of things here. A couple of okay, so let's quickly have a look at the Kaspersky machine. Let's quickly see. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have quite a couple of issues or threads open, so I'm just going to start closing them. That should drop our number. I just wanted to show you guys what is still open. Close that. That should drop our quantity. Just a couple of cracks by the looks of it. Okay, we'll close this one. Okay. Yeah, it just seems like it's a bunch of cracks and things like that. But obviously it could be a Trojan doing something in the back end. Okay, I've got another one. Okay, this is like a remote support thing. Okay, so now we're getting some more pop-ups. I think it's because we're now closing all these programs. Okay, doesn't seem like anything is open. Okay, now let's quickly look at programs that might have installed. So we've got this Aggress parser, DPP version. We've got that Internet Download Manager. We've got Network Traffic Monitor Expert, PDF Power, and Search Power Online. So we've got a couple of things that are installed. And there's still one more there. Okay, so we can obviously do a disinfect and restart once we're done. Okay, so let's see what's running. Okay, so not that many, but we do obviously have a couple of issues. So we have this one here, so we'll quickly check that one out. There's another low score. I think let's check them all. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do with Comodo is I'm going to reset the container so that we can then match up what's left versus Kaspersky. Containment, reset the container. Okay, so that's not good. We're getting a blue screen when I resetted the container, so that's not good at all. So we'll obviously check it when it comes back up again. But as far as I know, when I did check it, all the malware that was running was in containment. But I could be wrong, but I did quickly look at it and it seems like everything was in containment. So yeah, this is quite interesting. Blue screen on reset of containment. So there's clearly something that had either clipboard access or something. But yeah, we'll wait for this machine to come up again. Okay, now that Comodo is getting its bearings back together, let's continue with Kaspersky. Okay, oops, let's go back. Okay, so there's fairly low rating on this one. Same with this one, ABG and VAS. Okay, too many requests. Okay, I can't click on that button because of this pop-up. Okay, this is a fairly high one. Seems like Comodo's aware of it. Webroot's also aware of it. Sophos, Microsoft. So a couple of vendors are aware of this one. I'm not going to look at the caption ones. Okay, so we've got quite a number of threads still running on this machine. Let's quickly look at our documents. Okay, Comodo VM is a bit slow because I was on the blue screen. We just have to wait for that one. Okay, downloads folder. So these are a couple of files that downloaded. Quite interesting. We've got programs and videos and things like that. That's interesting. But they seem to be empty. Okay, documents. Documents are good. Pictures are good. Okay, cool. So not too bad results from Kaspersky, considering we did disable KSN. I think this is the most amount of malware that I've seen on a Kaspersky test, which might obviously be due to the KSN, so it kind of gives you an indication how much products do rely on cloud analysis and contacting the server for immediate file lookup and not rely on signatures and other zero-day components. Okay, so let's look at our downloads folder. Okay, yeah, so I would have interesting like to see how much malware was left after we cleared the containment, but unfortunately the VM did blue screen. But as far as I know, all of the threads that we saw in Process Explorer was in containment. I didn't actually see anything that escaped containment. But yeah, so we obviously just have to take that with a bit of a pinch of salt. Okay, so I think obviously, so these are the threads that we still have on the machine. Not that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we've got about 6 issues, which is not too bad. I'm going to start the disinfecting process now. Then while that's running, we can look at Comodo. Okay, so those are the files that downloaded. Documents. Okay, documents seems good. Our picture seems good. Let's see if anything changed in our startup items. Maybe malware slipped through or made a modification. Okay, I just have to wait a little bit on the slow side. Okay, so let's quickly have a quick look at the Comodo machine. So startup items doesn't seem like there's anything weird. Startup items. Let's quickly see what's running in Process Explorer, because it finally opened. Okay, doesn't seem like we have any threads that's running, so like I've mentioned, there's a good chance that all of that was in containment. As far as I know, it was, but obviously so, and then also the other thing with Comodo that we need to keep in mind is the Internet Security Premium is a bit old. I think the last product updates, if I'm not mistaken, was sometime 2021. So it's also a good chance that this is not even fully Windows 11 compatible. So then there might be bugs like this where you reset the containment, it might blue screen. So let's just keep that in mind. The Internet Security Premium is a bit old, but it is obviously still getting product or update for the definitions. But yeah, okay. So since Comodo did a reboot, I'm not going to reboot it again. I'm gonna update it now, and then I'm gonna start the full scan. I'm gonna wait for Kaspersky to do the advanced disinfection. Once the advanced disinfection is done and restarted, I will then run a full scan on the Kaspersky machine, and then we'll look at the results. Okie dokie, so it looks like all the scans are completed. So with Comodo, only 166 threads were detected. So on the app data roaming, looks like only 2 files, and then malware on the desktop, and that's about it. On the Kaspersky side, 186 objects were not processed. This 715 objects have been processing for, I would say, at least 2 hours. So I'm not sure if it's stuck or what's happening, but I'm not going to wait for it anymore. I think 2 hours to disinfect is enough time. It wants to reboot in any case, so I'm going to reboot it. But before we do, let's just see if there's maybe not anything running on these machines according to PE. Okay, I don't see any weird malicious processes nor the virus that will score. Let's have a look at the Kaspersky machine. I don't think there's anything running here. Okay, so nothing maliciously is running. Okay. Okay, on the Comodo machine, doesn't seem like we have any startup items. On the Kaspersky machine, it seems like we only have the sanity check, and that's public documents. Okay, that seems to be the only one. Okay, I'm gonna reboot Kaspersky through the UI, and I'm gonna reboot Comodo the normal way, and then we'll start the third-party opinion scans. Okay guys, so the third-party opinion scans are completed. On the Comodo side, we'll have a look at Heatman Pro. So according to this, we only have one file in temp, which is obviously not bad. That's normally where malware does reside, but it's just normally malware residual that stays behind. So we've got one in temp. On the Kaspersky machine, it seems like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 files, 5 files, 6 files in temp. Okay. Then on NPE, it seems like we've got no issues on the left hand side. Here we've got that one program that we installed that we saw in program files. Then the 3 files in the temporary location. Okay, so under MSciSoft, we have 4 issues on the Comodo machine. App data, local Microsoft, so there's a temporary file. There's an exe, just 2 app data, and then the 2 files in the downloads. On the Kaspersky side, we have 5 files in the app data. So there's an exe. Okay, close that. Okay, on the ESET side, we've got 1 problem, a local temp. Okay, so we've got 1 file there. On the Kaspersky machine, we've got 2 files here, that same program, and then local temp. Let's just close these ESET applications. Okay, and then I don't have malware bytes on the Comodo machine. I accidentally cancelled the update that was installing. I wasn't paying attention, so I accidentally closed it. And to show you guys, I did actually try to fix malware bytes by using this tool, but it can't fix it, and every time I actually want to install, it actually fails. So yeah, so sorry for that guys, that was my mistake. But malware bytes on the Kaspersky machine, so we've got 16 problems here, so that same program that aggress something, whatever it is. Then you've got app data, so there's Microsoft. Okay, so that was during the most probably the malware test with the browser. App data, local temp, so we've got a couple of exes, and that's up to it. Okay, cool. So no registry entries, so that's good to see. Let's quickly see what is running. As you can see, Malwarebytes says it installs from 5% to complete, but then it complains that it can't access the service, and yeah, you see some of the services are disabled, so Malwarebytes is completely screwed up. So unfortunately I can't show those results, so sorry for that. Okay, let's have a quick quiz again on the Comodo machine. Just quickly gonna go through it. Okay, so no active threats according to PE. Okay, so no active threats there. And then as you can see, unable to connect to server. So yeah, so Malware is totally screwed up. Okay, so in the downloads folder, we still have these folders here. For documents, we're still in good condition. Pictures for Kaspersky is good. Downloads for Comodo, still those 3 files during the website test. Our documents are in good shape, and the same with our pictures. Okay, so let's have a quick squiz at our okay, cool. So no additional user. Kaspersky, only my own user accounts for the basic and advanced view. And then startup items with Comodo, we don't have any additional startup items. With Kaspersky, we still only have this one. I actually want to see if in Virus Turtle, I get a feeling some of you guys is gonna ask me this to see if it is actually malware. So let's see. Let's quickly upload this bad boy. So it was which one again? Sanity check. Okay, so sanity check. Okay, let's see what it does. Maybe it's clean. Cool. Okay, cool. So this is undetected. So that's actually not malware. Okay, so that's interesting. Not malware, but I'm still gonna obviously use it as a startup item. No programs there. That's the program, but it's obviously gonna be broken now that because he said that remove it. We have Internet Download Manager, this DB version, and PDF Viewer, and the Search Bar Online, and yeah, that's about that. Okay, cool, guys. So let's quickly recap on the Comodo side. As I've mentioned before, bear in mind that I did disable heaps to make it more difficult for Comodo because like nothing was happening. I wanted some malware to execute. So these are the results with heaps disabled and re-enabled a couple of times during the test. So I think that's good results from Comodo. Like I said, concerning heaps was disabled. Yeah, we've got actually no startup items. We've got actually no malware infection. Our files are clean. No weirdness, no funny pop-ups. Just one or two couple of files in a temporary location, but that will obviously get removed later on as Comodo maybe gets verdicts for them, because I think they're still in the unrecognized files maybe. But yeah, I would say good results from Comodo. The website test results weren't bad at all. On the Kaspersky side, Kaspersky always does give good results. I think the website test was also good, maybe a little bit better than the Comodo machine. On the malware and proactive side, it was a little bit different. We do obviously have that one startup item, but we did check according to Virus Turtle, it seems to be clean, but we still have a startup item. We have a couple of PUPs that installed, and then we had a tad more malware outside of our or inside the temporary location, but luckily no infections. Our machine is still in good condition. No ransomware infection. So yeah, I would say still good results from Kaspersky. And yes, what I need to mention again, for them both, we did disable the file lookup services. So Comodo, we disabled the FLS, and for Kaspersky, we disabled the KSM. So yeah, results might still be better for them both, especially Kaspersky, as it relies a lot on the cloud to identify new threats. Comodo uses more the containment to battle unknown threats. So obviously, yes, it does look at the cloud services, obviously, but the fallback is always the containment, where vendors like Kaspersky, Bitterfin, and all these other guys that rely heavily on the cloud services to analyze threats and etc. So yeah, Kaspersky's results might be better with KSN enabled, but I would say still good results from Kaspersky with KSN disabled, and the same for Comodo. But yeah, good results. Let me know which one you think won. I'm not going to give my verdict on this one. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to see what you guys think, which one was the better one overall, or in which section you think which one was better than the other one. Obviously I have my opinion, but I'm going to keep it to myself. I would like you guys to tell me which vendor did the best. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making them. If you consider liking and subscribing to the channel, I would appreciate it a lot. It does take time to make these tests, especially the tests that I do with high sample counts. It does take a couple of hours to invest every time in a single test. So yeah, if you do like my work, subscribe and like the videos. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks again for watching, everyone. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next test.